Hey everybody, thank you so much for clicking and checking out this video. This is actually one of a big passion of mine, of course, is spearfishing and really sharing it with everybody. Everything from the methods to actually cooking and really sharing the food, the recipes, everything with you guys and also with my family. And this was the first time I got to do that with my extended family, being able to put together a sushi feast for Thanksgiving. And it took a lot of prep, and that's why it's taking so long to get this video out. I do have a day job as well, but I finally got this done. I truly hope you enjoy this video. Check it out. Morning dive. I haven't been out spearfishing in quite a while, so gonna go do a little morning spearfishing. Hopefully it's gonna be awesome. Got my bad boy set up. Here we go, check it out. Everything's ready, everything's strapped down. Now let's hope the ocean cooperates and that's awesome. Peace. As you can see, the water visibility was absolutely incredible on this day. You could see so far, but of course that made it a little challenging because the bigger fish could see us too and would scurry off real quickly. In the next scene, what you're gonna be able to see is there's a sargo coming over the top. I take a shot, and here is my first fish for Thanksgiving. One species of fish I really wanted was opaleye. Here I missed a shot, but on this next one, there's a good sized one coming across and bam, got it. It was funny because in so many places the water was just so shallow. Here I'm only in about 2 to 3 feet of water, but I'm right next to a ledge. Of course, I'm hiding myself behind this kelp here so that I can get a good shot on a sargo. And ding, there we go. We got a sargo. But check out this view when you come over the ridge. It just drops right off to about 13 to 17 feet. And it is just amazing how clear it was. There's a Garibaldi down there, some rigging from a boat, and it just, of course, now it's time to check out that ledge for lobster as well. Here's Tige with just an absolutely beautiful opaleye. He ends up giving me this one, and I gave him the lobster that you see on his bag right there, and you'll actually see why. Pretty cool little story, and one of the great reasons that you buddy dive. Here I'm on the trail of a beautiful sheephead. Right in the center there you can see the black, red, and black. While this sheephead disappeared into the rocks, the next scene is one of my favorites. This is my very first encounter. This is a soup fin shark, and they're actually very common on our coast and not dangerous whatsoever. Here's Tige and I diving around trying to find a few lobster holes. We ended up finding a few really packed full lobster holes, and check these out. Remember how I said that Tige had switched that opali with me because I got his first lobster? Well, here it is. So if you saw, Tige was going in a hole, tried to get it, and the lobster shot off. I went down after it and ended up picking it up for him.
That got away. That's all you. Is it we?
And one last look at my favorite view of the day. Hey guys, so this morning I went out and shot some fish because I want to make some sashimi and some sushi for Thanksgiving to go along with some turkey, just because all the family's around and everybody's seen what I've been doing, so I wanted to make something special. So I went out, got some opali, some sargo, and some sheephead, and right now I'm going to show you how to, I've already Ikejime the fish. That was done when I was out in the water, so putting the fish to death quickly so that they don't experience any pain and that they lose a lot of their adrenaline and all of that, so that the meat stays really good and you bleed them out there. So that's already been done, but now I'm going to actually continue the Ikejime style and clean it out, and I'll show you how I do that. And followed by Sukibiki, because I'm going to dry age the fish, so I want to cut off the scales. I've heard about just using regular scaling, but what I've heard is it's pretty rough on the fish. So in order to really treat the fish, you want to treat it as best as you can. So by slicing it off, you're not bruising the flesh. You're not doing any of that. So I'm gonna start this off and check out some of the stuff that we need. Okay, so for the Sukibiki part and for dry aging, you want to use 3 particular things: a toothbrush, a really sharp knife. I actually have started using a chef's Japanese knife, which is much sharper, and some shears to clean up fins and stuff like that, to just keep the fish a bit cleaner when you're dry aging. Additionally, what you're going to want to have is some cleaning stuff right next to you so that you can always keep the work area clean. You want the meat to be as fresh and clean as possible. Okay, so I don't have the most beautiful video setup ever, but what I'm going to do here is show you how to Sukibiki your fish before put it in the freezer or put it in the fridge to dry age it. So one of the first things you do when you get out of the water is you actually want to put your fish in and put a slurry of ice on top. So this is like crushed ice so that it's not poking into the fish and it's keeping it really cool. Just pulled mine out. This first one is a sheephead. We're gonna clean this one up and get it ready for you. So there's a couple things that you gotta do first when you go and get ready to set this for dry aging. You need to remove all the blood, and you need to remove all the scales and all of the gills and everything, so that you can actually have a nice clean fish as it goes through, and you're removing as much moisture as you possibly can from the fish. So now what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go in here and I'm going to clean all this out, make sure there's no blood left, make sure it's as clean as possible. See, pretty clean. Just a few little marks. The way we do this is you take a super sharp fillet knife, and what you're gonna do is you're gonna lightly cut right up against the skin. Not into the meat. You do not want to cut into the meat. See the little fillets? That's all the scales and everything. That's all the scales. So right here, you can see that I actually cut a little bit too deep, but the problem was that I have the shot. So where I shot the fish, that's actually right here, and it was all cut, so it's really hard to cut around that. I'm going to be cutting this out anyway, and it won't be edible when I dry age it. Normally I like to leave the head on, but this thing is 16 inches long, and so I have to take 3 inches off in order for it to fit in the fridge to hang. So one thing that I'm doing is I'm putting them in paper towels because I want to get as much moisture off the fish as possible before I put them in the fridge to dry age. Now that is a properly Sukibiki sheephead. And here you go. We've got our sheephead, our sargo, another sheephead, and then our 2 opal eyes right at the back. Ready to dry age for 5 days for Thanksgiving, and I'm gonna make some fantastic sushi out of them. End of a long but good week. Time to head off and go dive for some lobster, head underwater. Cheers. All right, here's the next dive, and as you can see, just absolutely brilliant visibility again. It was probably, again, 30 to 40 foot visibility in most spots. Here's Miguel diving down to our first lobster spot to see what's underneath. There were a lot of lobster under there, but unfortunately, I knocked my GoPro sideways right when I went down, and to save you guys from some seasickness, I did post that. Here's Miguel going down, looking for some fish to shoot. Of course, the visibility is just so clear that the fish could see him coming, so I had to get used to that to be able to shoot anything. Alright, so here goes Ben. He just started diving that day and didn't quite have the breath hold to get all the way down, but that was a great try going for some lobster. Here's a beautiful ledge that I figured had some scallops or some lobster in it, and of course there's a scallop right down at the bottom of the picture there. You'll see the orange lips of the scallop. I went ahead and grabbed that one and quite a few more in the next few clips. If you've seen a couple of my videos, you know I talk about purple urchin barrens or urchin barrens on occasion, and here's a perfect example. As you can see, there's no kelp, nothing around these. And so what I did was I started breaking some for the fish around here, but also one thing that I noticed is they were chock full of the orange good meat, or the gonads that we all eat for uni. And so I started grabbing a bunch here, but also breaking a bunch open for the fish around here to feed them a little bit and give them a reward of just being around there. Sometimes it actually looks very beautiful right here. Just hundreds and hundreds of urchin all around. As you know from earlier, one of my favorite things in the world is sharks, and here's another one. I got to actually swim with this one for a little bit, just a tiny bit, and then just a couple strokes of the tail, and it's gone. So back into it. Here's a nice little calico going.
Alright, happy Thanksgiving everybody. Time to show you just what I went shopping for out in the ocean for the past week for today's event. So I got my dried fish, so sheephead, opali, stargo, another sheephead, opali, fresh opali from yesterday, some turban snails, and mussel, a rock crab, a bunch of urchin for some uni, and a handful of scallops.
So this was an absolute blast, being able to get dive experiences with my buddies and being able to do this for my family. Here's some ponzu, sheephead and scallop, and then here's my sashimi and some seared scallops on the side there, and a little bento box that was made afterwards from the leftovers. How fantastic. Cheers! As you guys know, I do this for fun. It's really just to share it with you. I really hope you enjoyed this video. It really did mean a lot to me to be able to share this with my family and show them just how fantastic fresh fish and dry-aged fish is out of the ocean. I wish I would have had reactions from my dad, who is a sushi aficionado and really loves it, and also an uni aficionado, finally, after many years of going to Japan and stuff. And he was absolutely blown away with just the quality of the fish and the uni, how just absolutely buttery and great it is tasting when it comes right out of the ocean. So Thank you guys all for watching this. Definitely hit like if you enjoyed this and share this, do whatever you can. It's just a fun thing to have out there and I hope more people are able to enjoy it. Cheers and thank you for following.